All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. We got another action-packed week of volatility ahead. But before we get into any of the recap and what to expect this week, I have one important thing you need to watch, and it goes beyond the CPI or minutes, which we are going to get, and it is the 30-year UK gilt bond, but gilt bond, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. It's some weird names, but this right here, it is trading right below 5, and this is what I want you to watch this week. You could get this on tradingeconomics.com, but if this number, the 30-year yield on the UK bond, goes above 5%, something is going to break in Europe, and that brings out all of the whole European recession issues that we have been talking about all year. So keep that in line or keep that on watch. But now number 2, this is also the US 10-year bond, and remember, at around 4% leading into 4.25 and 4.5. We've talked about all of that, but if that goes above 4% this week, that is also going to signal a problem, or the easiest way to interpret it, if those yields go higher and higher, you are going to get more volatility. Again, these are bonds. That means the bonds and move index, that volatility, it starts to explode. It will get crazy. So we have a lot to talk about, but let me throw the cherry on top. The VIX coming into Friday again. We sold off. We didn't hit a new low, but we came very low. But we've been talking about the VIX and paying attention for that 40 mark because the Fed has never pivoted without the VIX going above 40. So after last week and everything, you'll notice we are right near the lows, but the VIX is not near the highs. So why am I bringing this up? Because this is what we want to watch this week. Again, you are going to be getting minutes and CPI, and that's going to be key. But now underneath the surface, those currencies and bonds, those are going to be moving around, and by the end of this week, what we want to see are investors really capitulating, and are we going to watch the market either sell off, or is every sell-off being purchased, and is that going to give us this weird formation? So we have a ton to talk about. This week is going to be exciting. I got the plays, I got the recap, and what to watch for. So drop your thumbs up on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/the stock market. That's why I'm hitting there. I realized it now. It's the first link in the description. So we'll see you there. It's free 99. God bless all the positivity. And again, during volatility, you're gonna want to be there. We have a ton of events this week, just like last week. So hopefully we see you there. And please do not forget, today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. This is where we need your help. It's the random account generator. What we ask on this watch list, you post a random option trade, strike price, expiration date, all of that good stuff. Keep it below $100, and we are going to pick a random play in the morning and buy it. So let's go. We need your help, and we already have UUP puts. I know. We already have them there and a ton of calls. So let's get it, baby. But either way, let's see what happens. Let's go. I love it. God bless the call, baby. And you see this shirt? I'm back with it. I'm feeling like it's a championship weekend. We need to channel did they win? I don't even know if they, I don't know. I like this sweater, okay? And we need the hype. I love the hype. And Uncle has something on SoundCloud for you. Okay, run it, baby.
Walking to the couch, it's the 2020 election. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm saying watch the bonds, watch the UK gilts, but just don't forget, this week is all about the minutes and CPI. So we are going to get the 1-2 punch. I don't know why my schedule was so messed up. I kept saying it was Monday, Tuesday. It's going to be Wednesday, Thursday. On Wednesday, we are going to get the Fed minutes, and then on Thursday, you are going to get the CPI. So good news is that the minutes, they may not have too much of an effect, especially if we are low. That's what we were saying last week. So that's what we're going to be watching out for. But literally, those two events, that's where the fireworks are going to happen. But why I'm bringing up the minutes and what we expected last week is simply because it will be an event, but Thursday, and the CPI, that is going to be the main event. That is really where people are going to react. The number is expected to come in below at around 8.3, I believe. If it is another hot number, that will be very bad. But again, whether it's pivot rumors, and again, we were showing the VIX this weekend, those pivot rumors are still alive. So be very careful, but it is definitely different than last Friday where we were at the lows and everybody woke up very, very good coming into all this. So keep all that in mind. But why I'm bringing it up is literally that CPI, if it comes in even better than expected though, that is where any of the rally narrative is going to come from. Again, this week is going to just be a little bit more different now because we've already tested the lows. If we test the lows really quickly and any good catalyst comes in, I mean, people will get jumpy. So anything could happen. We are coming in with negativity, but just don't forget, just how you watch the data reverse a lot of things last week, that same thing could happen with CPI, and now that will be the biggest set of data leading into POW. So watch out for that. On the same note, though, we already brought this up. Besides that data, it is going to be all about those bond yields. Again, if the 10-year goes above 4%, the only way that happens, again, last time we brought it up, and remember, I was saying if we get to 4%, and that's what we did a couple of weeks ago, things were going to get crazy. People asking, well, what's going to happen? We don't know exactly, but the whole idea is if those long-term bond yields creep up, that means that people's expectations about inflation, the Fed hiking, all of that, that means they are also going in that direction too. So pretty much those yields do not go up without more hawkishness, and that is pretty much the main point of all of it. So if we start to see those break out, or again, that 30-year gilt going above that 5%, that will create a problem. But these are the things we're going to watch. Those might move ahead of the data, but especially after the data now, we might watch everything kind of, take its footing for the rest of the year, or at least get our final capitulation and then maybe set us up into the midterms in POW. So keep your eyes out for that. That is key number one. Now, key number two, baby. Oh, I love it. And don't forget about this. And this might be a very big X factor for the good and bad in the next couple weeks, man. But ladies and gentlemen, earnings is literally starting. On Friday, you are going to be getting all of the bank stocks, or at least Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan. But those right there could have a lot of implications. Then right after the banks, before you know it, it's going to be Netflix. And then the most important company in the world, Snapchat. They're going to report before Meta and everything. And I mean, again, those earnings compressions and all the fear, this earnings will be very, very key. And if it does end up good, again, just even with all the bearishness, just don't forget, good data is really going to have a rocket effect in this environment. But if any of those earnings are good, that could have a big impact. If they are bad, and then again, whatever that CPI gives us, that will give you the runway and ramp leading into earnings. But keep that in mind. Watch the bank stocks, but earnings does officially kick off this week. And then finally, man, this is just my breakdown and my final key for you. If you remember this May 9th, we kept bringing this up. Well, take a look. That's your chart you have now. These next couple days are going to be a wild card. Again, you'll notice, and even then, I'm shooting this video before the futures are open, so we will see what happens, but there's definitely a little bit different of a vibe than what we had last week, but the VIX is lower. We want to see how people play this. What I'm expecting is we are going to be getting big swings. If this is going to compare to May 9th, May 10th, and what happened, you did go a little bit lower, but you'll notice you held, and then we popped up, and then it led into the data. So if the CPI ends up being good, and everything that could be worse ends up being good this week, and the bonds don't explode and they kind of chill out right there, they go near their highs and then calm down, maybe we get that run up into it, but we really don't know. If the data is bad, anything is bad, and now we start to break down aggressively from here, this will start looking like its own beast. So I think the next couple of days are going to be very, very volatile. I am expecting bigger swings as we creep towards the lows, but if anything, I need the data to bless it. Good or bad data, Thursday, Friday, it'll probably trade a lot like last week, where we get a couple of moves, then everybody slows down into the data, but you see it, the market is responding to this data. So all we need is that to bless it. Then we'll find out by Wednesday, Thursday, close into the week, and then before you know it, halfway through October, then Powell, and then it's the end of the year. So I hope you're ready, but let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got 3 different stocks that I'm looking at coming in tomorrow, and we made some good plays plays on Friday. Remember, we were talking about playing both sides. You've been watching me run through some of these, so I'm holding a lot of stuff now. We're going to go back towards this. I pretty much only have the losers or whatever remaining upside plays that I have, but this whole idea of dropping off plays at the top and bottom, we did it successfully. I closed out of calls on Friday right when I got the data. Again, responding to that, we knew it was going to have a negative effect. I closed out of my upside futures for a gain, and then any of the downside that we were down on at the beginning of the week, I was able to close for profit. So we'll go over there, but essentially I've cleared most of the board. I have a lot of cash, and that's why I'm saying I think this week is going to be a wild card. I'm going to watch for the data to really bless the move, but now these first couple of days of the week, we really want to see what foot we get started off. But as far as the plays in number one, man, we made this play on Friday, and I really, really like it, and I'm glad I brought it up to you guys last week as well too. DFEN, and this one is the whole defense stock UVXY. Pretty much it's an ETF, Lockheed, LMT, all of those names, but I grabbed this on Friday. It's supposed to be a play related to global tensions. That's why I got it, and we brought this up just on the chart. The risk to reward's decent. If it goes back down to the very lows at like 10 bucks, on 100 shares, you lose like 300 bucks, but you have the opportunity to make almost double that if there's any sort of, run or global tension. So we got that. There was that Ukraine news with the bridge over the weekend. We'll see what happens. I would keep an eye on wheat as well too. If that news over the weekend escalates, it could lead into something. Save your likes. We're going to talk about this one tomorrow, but definitely watch out for that. That is play number one. Then play number two, baby. I was really thinking about this one, and especially with all of the future plays that we made. Apple, you gotta watch it, but why I'm saying it's pretty much the NQ. Literally, Apple is the NASDAQ at this point. I mean, they are not only at a key level, but the NASDAQ, it has a lot more meat on the bone compared to the Dow and S&P 500. I would definitely watch Apple to really lead or lag this week, but in general, if any volatility plays out, I would watch Apple. Again, if I don't want to take an NQ future in a weird way, I would just go play a couple hundred shares of Apple. I think that'll give you exposure, and again, if anything develops good or bad, don't forget, even on the upside, if that CPI by this week ends up being good, I think Apple, you could probably catch a lot of runway with it, and then again, you will have the buffer or hyped upness leading in with all of the earnings. But watch out for Apple. That is play number two, and then finally, play number three, baby. I hope you enjoy this one. It's related to what we started with. Watch those bond yields, and even this week, a lot of things will get decided, especially now that the final event after this week will be POW, but watch FXB and FXY. FXB, that one's related to the pound. FXY, that one is related to the yen. There's also like YCS as well too, but we've brought this up a lot on stream. The pound, especially last week, you're seeing is back to that critical point. It's pretty much right where I shorted it, and then even the yen on Friday, it was starting to crack a little bit. So it's going to be a big week depending on what happens to those bond yields, and especially after the data and all of that. But depending on how these things move, depending on how the volatility plays out, they're either going to bounce or they're going to start breaking out into the next level. Again, go look at the yen. It's been at this price for a couple of months now. Again, the pound here, it's really going to make up its mind of, hey, do I want to be at 110 to 115, or am I going to be at 110 to 100, and then testing parity and all of that? So I hope you're ready. But those are the main plays. As far as everything else, let's take you to the trades that we made on Friday. Again, you can see there at 5:38, literally a couple minutes after the data, it shot down, and then right when it bounced up on the first bounce, I closed out of those futures. Remember, I bought them the week before. Remember, last week, we came into the lows. We bought the dip on Friday. I did not do that this week. But remember, I had the big ES and then the micro ES and all that. I cut out the micro on Monday for 1,400, and then I held these all the way through. But at that time in the morning, even after the data, the market was still up. I was able to close that one out for $1,300 profit. So made money on that one. Then throughout the day, I took another short on micros. We made like 200 bucks. That was a day trade that I closed by the end of the day. Then those MNQs, again, that was from the week before. Remember, I had those on the Friday, and then it ran against me, and then I made an average down, and then that one was going against me. Those came back up to positive. I closed that one out for a $798 net profit, so that one was nice. Then I covered that Netflix, if you remember. That was our example play with 10 shares. I said it might be time. It's been 3 weeks. The contracts that were even $10 in the money, they were still down like 40%. We walked away with an $80 profit. I think the max we were up was like 120. I could have made a little bit more. Again, you could see I closed out there on like the second leg of the day, so I did miss out on some extra profits, you'll notice I started cutting out some things, and that's because I still have that MYM, which I was negative on, and I'm still negative on, and that was going to be my final downside future that we were going to need to balance everything out. But I thought it was time I closed out of those, and then I even closed out of a Meta January 130 put. I had these for a while. I got $1,200 a pop, so I got like $6,000 back. This is a play from like a year ago. I made the other half free about a couple months ago, but I noticed Facebook was going lower. Premium was the same price. I just didn't really want to deal with it, and I figured I could do a little bit more damage with some other things. So took the profits on that one, happy. And again, if I had a bounce, I wouldn't have been happy. So got that one. Then I added 100 shares of DFEN. Not saying the price, because again, this was from the after hours on Friday, Monday, how it clears, but I got in 100 shares at 12.82. So not anything too crazy. And again, that one's all about the risk to reward. And then I had like a $30 future flip on Friday. So very good. But now coming into the holdings now, you're going to see what I've been holding. But this is what we were saying. I'm glad you guys got to watch it. Again, like we said, if we drop them off at the wrong time, they could run against us. But now you're seeing my only exposure. I have that pound play. I was down $3,000. Now I'm down $500. Again, this is going to be that make it or break it moment. So even this week, I think that is going to be my bigger volatility play. Watch this one. It's going to be exciting for all of us. But watch it. But that one's going to be fun. Then MYM still holding the downside. Again, ACAM, that's the bio play. My logic with this one, pretty much hold it till end of November if we get that rally or not. Only way we truly get like destroyed on this is if they have either really, really bad earnings, really, really bad news, or just overall we don't get a midterm rally, because again, that one's a bigger one. But I like it, still holding that one. The arch plays, I'm even going to keep my eye on all the coal plays. I think they could be fire this week. Same thing with Boyle, still holding that. Then there's the DFEN, and then the EWG, still have that to the downside. And then again, still down on Adobe. The UNG, I know there's like one or two more that I'm missing, but again, for most of them, we have closed them out. Any of the negativity on the futures, we got to walk away with profits. And now really I'm just holding those Dow futures and the pound short into this, ACAM to the upside, and then now we have commodities and coal and all the other ones to the upside. And then I have those old Wells Fargo, Costco. We're going to see how this earnings plays out with all of them. But those are the main plays. That is everything else. It's going to be an exciting week, ladies and gentlemen. If you thought last week was crazy, we are going to end Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be another set of data. So I hope you're ready. I hope I see you on stream. But that is it, man. Have a wonderful day. And that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, I'm not stopping. Making sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining, Chad. I need you. You already know. You already know. You're made for this, Chad. You are prepared. And if you got caught, if they got you slipping last week, you got to brush it off. But listen, you have many more opportunities. This volatility isn't going away anytime soon, but you need to enjoy it while it lasts. And that's why I'm saying short-term memory. Give yourself time, give yourself room to be flexible. But in the next coming weeks, and after we end this with earnings, I'm telling you, Chad, you're entering in the final season, and we're really gonna see where things culminate. But you made it this far, and you're ready for it. So I'll see you there in the morning. Bring the energy and hype, and God bless you. Finger to the sky, and let's get it, baby. Again, it's game time. You know that beast mode, baby. It's beast mode. Hit them free throws. Play some defense. You go championship. Come on, LeBron, D-Wade. I don't know. Block Ray Allen. I don't even know. I forgot how it played out. Anyway, I like it though. You know what I'm saying? Championship. It's not even the championship. Even when the championship ends, we gonna win it and we gonna play again. It's gonna start. I like the chat. Hey, let's go, baby. The futures ain't even open yet, too. You know that? I know I got so hyped. I did this so early, and they're not even open. So we'll see. But again, you better watch those bonds this week. Okay, I love you. Have a wonderful evening. Peace out. I love you. Amen. God is good.